Welcome, diecast fans. My name's Batman. In this week's episode of K5, it's gonna be showing you some of my latest vehicles from Hotwheels. Thanks for watching, and if you wanna watch more of this stuff, subscribe and press the like button. I'm out. I'm looking for Robin. Robin, where are you? Hey, Robin, come back.
Welcome, one and all. Yes, as Batman was saying, we're going to be checking out some Bat vehicles, and here they are. I picked these up in B&M very recently. Well, I would say recently, about a month ago. And I haven't had a chance to show them, so I'll be sharing these with you, as well as these models behind. And yeah, only 4. Well, yeah, it's only 4 I fancied out of the whole of the Hot Wheels range, but there's plenty of other Hot Wheels to show you from Mark and Alicio. Right, first to share, I think, will be this piece here. This is a new casting, I believe. I don't think I've seen it before. As you know, I like to collect motorbikes. They are HW Moto 2019. I'm not sure of the date of the casting, 2018. Let's check it out. It says underneath there, look, Moto Wing, made in Malaysia, 2018 Mattel. So yes, it is a brand new casting. A little bit crazy looking. So it's kind of a quad bike. Yeah, let's have a look around it anyway. See how realistic or what potential it's got. Oh my word, look at all those canisters on the side. Now they could be bombs, but they do look like either fire extinguishers or possibly more likely to be some kind of nitrous. That's a weird looking fan on the side there. I mean, the whole thing is weird looking. It's got this wing thing on the back there. I presume it's based on something that actually happens in real life, perhaps, maybe? Who knows? Motorbikes with wings, I suppose it's possible. It kind of reminds me of those little sidecar motorbikes, if you know the ones I mean. You have a little man that hangs off the side here, but there you go. I'm not sure of its general applicationals. I like them wheels though, actually, they're nice, and it's nice to have a skinny version of that, although that is the usual. But there you go. It's got one nice set of wheels and one ordinary set of wheels. But there it is, the Moto Wing, as it says, MW 750. It must be a 750 motor in there somewhere. Where are you? Oh, that could be that thing up the front there. Okay, let's check out this one. Now, I was wondering how long it would take for them to convert this Lamborghini Countach into a police car, and they've done a lovely job there. Yeah, let's check it out on the back there. Of course, this was the in red, very nice in red actually. I got the red one. I did manage to find a spare one, if you remember rightly, back in the day. I managed to chip mine up, but I did find another one, thank goodness, and it is now replaced. But this is different. The red one was all about, was actually based on a real car that was used as a pace car for Formula 1 or something similar. But it just seemed necessary, I think, that they made this one into a police car, and they have done. And it's just amazing. And of course, Lamborghinis do become police cars. I'm not so sure about a Countach as a police car, but it makes a fantastic Hot Wheels police car. Yeah, it's kind of fantastically, realistically fantastic. Beautiful. Nice set of tampos on there. Just generally, overall, I like the concept of it. Surprised they haven't done this one sooner. And I will probably, actually, now I've got it out the box, I really like it more than I liked it in the box. And if I see another one, I will probably have to buy it. It'd be nice to have a little squad of these, wouldn't it? Chasing your bad boys up the motorway. Wow, that is awesome. So, Lamborghini Countach. Police car. Oh, pace car. Police car, no, it's a pace car.
this up recently. I picked it up yesterday actually in Asda. It's a Hot Wheels. Goodness me, I just watched a video recently in which I was berating Hot Wheels and saying that I was going to be cured of this affliction. But as with all forms of addiction, it's very difficult to kick the habit sometimes. Anyway, perhaps I shouldn't go there after work. I tend to sort of go into a, that looks interesting, because your brain's gone into dead mode. Anyway, I thought I'd show you this because it's quite interesting in the fact that it's not a real car, it's totally irreverent and mad. And I'm trying to find out what that piece of Japanese script actually says. It'll probably be something boring like Hot Wheels. Anyway, I thought I also would like to show you some of the detailing in here, which for a Hot Wheels car is quite incredible, and it shows you what happens when you do a generic model, because clearly the budget means you can do more with the tooling, and so you get this sort of textured footwell area. You get a bit more detailed instrumentation. Unfortunately, you do get a rather diddy, stupid little knobbly mushroom steering wheel, but you get what appears to be seat belts in the back, vents going into something at the back. There's a lot of plastic involved, because obviously that white piece, you can see where it all goes, comes up through the bonnet for whatever that is, God knows. But one thing that is interesting, and this is why I wanted to do this video, is to show you this chin spoiler. See the bit, that pink bit that comes through in the middle? That's there for a reason, because you can pop it down. So it will then sit much further. You can actually push it back more than you really want to. Yeah. To the point where it's almost touching the ground. So this is the adjustable chin spoiler thing that came through a few years ago, because they were noticing that some of these models wouldn't go around the tracks very well on loops, so they made them adjustable. So that's a nice little feature, a little sort of moving part, which adds to a sense of semi-realism. I think it's quite interesting is that they've actually taken the smoked glass unit through to create some form of light bar in this intake area, which seems a little excessive. It's definitely there because you can see a shine just making out. Anyway, there you go. It's a bit sort of Ziggy Stardust meets manga comics. The other thing that's interesting is that you get grey tyres, grey wheels. So it's all a bit mad. Would lend itself very well to a custom. But there again, it's pretty much custom already. Don't quite know what I would do with it. I think I'd probably actually just save on my paint stripper and paint spray and just detail the bits that are there. There we go, and it is called, sorry I should have mentioned this, it is called a track manga TM. Trademark. Bit of fun. There you go.
Okay, here's one I had to get. It is indeed, this is from the Forza series, Horizon 4, for the Forza people out there. These are a little bit cool. I know some people out there who collect the Forza cars, so here's one to be looking out for. This is the Mclaren Senna. This is the latest McLaren vehicle. In reality, it's kind of named after their famous motor racing driver and world champion Ayrton Senna. So you kind of expect great things from this particular McLaren, and I believe it is rather fantastically fast as well. Hot Wheels version of it, missing some details, of course. The headlights are not modelled in, though you can imagine them there. I don't know, like there is a space, there is a gap where a tampo could have been applied. Maybe at some point in the premium range. Ooh. They probably left those little gaps there, especially for that moment. Yes, very striking. And they managed to throw in some rear tampos for us, which is nice. Of course, the black parts of the base there making up some nice details, and of course this car is famous for its see-through doors, and there they are. Brilliant. It's actually a really, you know, I mean, as a Hot Wheel, it is not bad at all. There are some other brands out there that are making this car, and I have been tempted, and I've spoken to Alicio, and I think he's bought one, so hopefully he'll be showing us the mini car version of this. But for now, this is my only version, and it's the Hot Wheels Senna McLaren. It's actually not bad at all. It's all one piece there, just plastic. You can see right through it, of course. The real car, these would be ribs, would all be painted in, I suppose, but they'd be black anyway, so it's a Hot Wheel. Nice big chunky wing. That's nice and solid. Very cool.
Beetles about, watch out, Beetles about, you better watch out, 'cause Beetles about. One for a certain age of British viewer there. I picked this up in, where was it now? Morrison's yesterday. Really? Still buying Hot Wheels, Mark? Yes, you hypocrite. Well, I think I just sort of went into a bit of a spasm of annoyance, and they're not off the hook completely, but I'm just being a little bit more selective, so I'm not buying that many as I used to. So enough of the preamble. I picked this up because it's rather delightful, I have to say. Some of you will say, well, this has been out before, and it has, apparently. I just had a little look online. It's been on in a number of different guises. Apparently it came out in 2007, and at that point it had an opening engine hood and had a large single exhaust, and had a hole in the roof, which is like a sunroof. Then they changed this part and sealed it down, and then they put twin exhausts. They kept the open roof, and now they've closed the roof off and put a roof rack on it. So it's called the Custom Volkswagen Beetle, which is a rather vague term, but it is rather nice. It's quite small, but it uses these steel wheel effect, which I think they really are rather good. I wish they'd just do one with a thicker tyre and it'd be brilliant, but they are superb. Basically, you don't require an awful lot of customising when you've got these on, because it looks convincing, and that's the whole sort of thing about customising stuff, is just to make it look a little bit more convincing and less like a pure toy. But it's very nicely done. You've got a filler cap bit in the window there, I presume that's what it is, and you've got the split window, which is of a certain age of Beetle. A rather over-the-top decoration, which presumably is to look a bit distressed and rusty and hipsterish-y, which when you see toy cars with the hipster effect, then you know that it is definitely on its way out. And I have to say, I am rather bored with the whole hipster thing after so many years of it. It's pretentious nonsense. I have to say that. I'm just expressing my belief on it. Not all of it's really bad, but it just gets a bit tiresome. A bit like me droning on, probably. Anyway, I think it's a really good model. I really do. It's one of the best Hot Wheels that I've seen for a little while, and it's very nicely finished off with the wheels. Don't like the paint job very much, but I do like the casting, and I do like what they've done with it, and I think actually sealing the roof up is a good thing. So there we go. the Hot Wheels Custom Beetle.
Well, that's a lot of Batman stuff there, isn't it, really? Let's face it, quite a lot, mostly actually Hot Wheels Batman stuff. Hot Wheels have taken Batman and they have embraced him wholeheartedly with a full range of crazy stuff. There's actually one Matchbox Batmobile amongst this lot. There you go, it's a Matchbox one. Quite an interesting concept vehicle for Batman, kind of based on 2 or 3 Batmobiles, I would say, to make that one Batman car. There's also, I've got some Corgi stuff. Of course, there's a Corgi helicopter, and there's a Hot Wheel one as well. Unusual. And just in case you were worried about, from that last video, that awful condition Batmobile that I had, here's a really, really nice, almost mint pristine version of it, which actually differs considerably from what I consider to be probably the best Batmobile, and that is the Hot Wheel version. There we go. So it's quite a lot bigger and actually a lot more realistic, much more Futura than the old Corgi version. I mean, all the parts are there. It's just really, really stubby, as you can see. But there you go. That's a little bit of a background there. That's my Hot Wheels 3-inch collection. And here comes Batman. I was trying out that moto thing, moto wing. Yeah, there you go. So I finally managed to pick up a Justice League Hot Wheel Batmobile. There you go. It differs a little bit from the previous one. I think the previous one was the Batman and Superman Batmobile, in the fact that it has some kind of cannon protruding from the cockpit area. Oh, it seems to move as well. That's handy, isn't it? Means you can shoot around corners if you need to. So let's have a little comparison over this vehicle over the last version of it. Generally similar. Of course, it has the same kind of wings and other little features there. Same kind of wheel arrangement at the back. Same kind of base by the looks of it, actually. Very similar bases. But yes, it does differ a lot, mainly because this one has firepower. And there you go. Firepower that it used in the film, if I remember rightly, and it sort of did quite a lot of damage. Very, very cool. Because Batman needs a bit of firepower now and again. It's got sort of rams up front there, machine guns, cannons, and this kind of tank cannon on the top here. Must be like a 30mm cannon or something along those lines. And of course it differs in the fact that it's gunmetal grey, which is good. Although I don't think, yeah, no, grey's good. It was grey in the film, as opposed to black in the last film. There you go. The new Batmobile.
Managed to pick up some Hot Wheels cars on the other day, which is, let me see, middle of May. It's been quite a long time since I've actually managed to get hold of any. And of all places, I found them in Asda. So, without further ado, this is the first one, which is a 96 Porsche Carrera, as it says, which I may in fact give to a friend. So I'm going to get these out in a minute, just show you them in their boxes. And then we've got Chevelle SS 67 version, which is quite an interesting looking vehicle. Had one before, but this is a very attractive colour scheme. And then we've got a Nissan Skyline in Japanese police colours. And then finally a 66 Chevy Nova, which has an interesting stance. So I'm going to pause and I'm going to open these up. Alright, back again, and this is the Porsche. So from a time when they decided they were going to make everything very jelly mouldy, smoothed out. Not my favourite period of time for Porsche 911s, but it's a nice job. That transparency glass is very nice and shiny, it makes a change. And you get scratches and nicks in them. And a nice interior, so they did a nice job on that. And with the rear lights, let's get this thing into autofocus. And we've got the Carrera logo on there as well, so they've done quite a nice job on that. I think Porsche are quite tight with them, with Hot Wheels, about how they execute the models, which is good, so they should. We'll move on to the Nissan Skyline, which of course is the... No, see, we don't get descriptions on Hot Wheels, do we, always? But it's early 70s, 72 I think, fastback version. Now with a bit of application of black paint I can get rid of all those horrible gaps in the lower bit of the body there, where the printing doesn't go into the crevices. Not sure about these metallic red rims, but other than that, a nice job. I am rather selective when I pick up my Hot Wheels. Usually they are going to be, you know, nice, for want of a better word, not questionable. So lovely paint job on that, very nice indeed. Cherry, whatever you want to call it, it's a clear varnish over the bare metal, which has obviously been slightly polished. You've got all of these logos from various different people who have allowed their logo to be used on Hot Wheels cars recently. Moon Eyes, Holly, Who's Ya, and some others, Bell helmets, Mothers, which is a varnish, polish. But I'm not going to go into that too much about, you know, the use of logos. I've mentioned it before. It seems to be more to do with Hot Wheels taking money from people so that they can put their branding on things. Strange. Right, and then we'll finish with this one, which is the Chevy Nova, which I like actually just because of its stance. I'm not normally into lowered models or lowered cars, but it just makes a change from cars being highly propped up. Yeah, that being the case in point, it's just nice to see a car riding at a height which is more, I don't know, realistic. Saying that though, I don't like the wheels. The wheels are a bit iffy. I would use the word iffy. Would like to see the back of these wheels. They are looking a little bit... They look alright on specific models, but I don't know. I don't know what wheels you'd substitute. I often do wheel substitutions because you think, oh, I wonder what it looks like, and sometimes you do it and you think, wow, that was worth the time and effort, and other times you think, well, I've done it now. And you just put the model away in your stash or display or whatever and think, well, that was a lot of effort for putting in. On this occasion I think I would probably just leave it. It's like all these flames on here, it's just a bit over the top. Underneath all of this is a very attractive casting of a car that has been somewhat obscured by over the topness. So there is the 4 models I selected from the latest stash that came in at Asda. I don't know how far behind we are with the Americans. Don't even mention Matchbox to me, because still, as we are in May, we haven't seen any since December, and we're still waiting for Tesco to stock them. Apparently they're supposed to be the new stockist. So in the meantime, in terms of fresh metal, as they say, it's Hot Wheels, and this is a nice little set. I'm quite pleased with these. You know, there's a lot of really bad Hot Wheels, and there's some very good Hot Wheels, but they are in the minority. And there you go. that's me signing off.
So the phasing out of Whiz Wheels and the moving into Corgi Juniors. There's a few pieces here that kind of fit that transition. We've got pure Whiz Wheels. Here they go, with that Corgi Junior labelling on there. There's a load of Tomasos there. Now I think this is one of the cars that inspired the move into the rocket zone, because back in the day, there was a Corgi 1/43rd scale Corgi car. There was a few cars that you could buy with removable chassis pieces. They'd have the whole transmission area and the suspension would all be one unit, and you could actually supplant that out of your car and have it running around as just a T bracket, and the rest of it, all the interior and the main body and the engine, would all sit still in the car. And that was funny to see. I actually had one of those as a kid, but there's a bunch of Tomasos here. This is very nice condition in that lovely Corgi kind of lavender colour. This is the one from my childhood in this colour. This would have been released around about 1970. So we've got Corgi Whiz Wheel, pure Whiz Wheels, coming out of the rocket zone. Got the introduction of some new models. This is a CJ6. It just says Corgi on the base. I think this is a slightly later piece, but just to show you, there's the Whiz Wheel Willis. So it's got the same front end, funny enough, or similar front end, but totally different vehicle. This is a Whiz Wheel Junior horse box. Funnily enough, this was around in the Husky period. Would have had a gate on the back there as well, and probably a few horses in the rear. But there you go, you can fast horse transit. A couple of other hangovers from the Whiz Wheel period, but now sporting just Corgi Jr on the base. These rather lovely Tom and Jerry cars. These were mostly metal, actually. Some metal gun on there, plastic, some plastic fittings, little plastic figures in there. That's metal, that lid there, and the dynamite is all metal. Here's some definite juniors. No mention of Whiz Wheel on the base of there, although they are carrying what are essentially Whiz Wheels. That one's got Whiz Wheels, that one's got later wheels, and that one, in rather good condition, has got the later wheels as well. Of course, the Guy Tanker, if we look at the original, there's that one, and there's the original. It's not a lot of difference, actually. Yeah, it's basically the same piece, slightly different here and there, some trimming going on. I like this one. I think this is kind of towards the end of the Whiz Wheel period. So we have Corgi Whiz Wheel, Corgi Junior Whiz Wheels, very plasticky base. Would have had a lifting, inserting tail area. That's its original colour. I know Mark's done a few customs of this one now. I sent him one to do up. But very nice. Ford Transit, again from the 70s. That wouldn't have been a Husky, I don't think. Here's another nice one. This is a Range Rover, kind of safari mode. Now I don't know if it had a roof or not. It kind of looks like it should have had some sort of a roof. But that's again sporting the later Corgi motifs. So I'm guessing that one's made in China. No, made in Britain still. Yeah, 80s. It's the 80s. We've got the 80s going on. Here's a bit of the 80s as well. View to a Kill, I think. This is the Corgi Junior Diane. Nice wheels on there, proper Whiz wheels. And this one here, which I rather like, is the Pacer. Is it a Pacer? Yeah, Amc Pacer Corky Jr. Lots of lovely details on the base there. It's been crashed and trashed, but that is the beauty of these cars. All kids had them and they played with them. That's the main thing. That's what puts Corgi aside from a lot of the other brands is what they were cheap enough to be played with by children. And here's the growler. It's another growler. That's two growlers. Do they make the same growl? Hey, how annoying is that? There you go. This one is a Ferrari. Oh no, Porsche 917 for you Porsche lovers. Very nice. Wow, look what I just found down the shops. Oh, a very small boy called Jack and a new Batmobile. We're going to check it out, okay? So have a look, Jack, see what you think of that then. Open it up if you like, have a look. So there we go, Batman needed another Batmobile for the Batmobile collection. I'm going to get Jack here to test it out.
I can take it out here, look.
What do you think of that then?
Silver.
Yeah, what else about it?
Gold.
Yeah. What's it made of?
Batman.
What's it made out of? Is it made out of plastic?
Metal.
Oh, quick, go and see if it'll drive down the slope. About this slope here, look. That's alright. Go for it, ready? Whoa, that's a good one. Go on, take it down the big hill. I want a good test run. Come on, that's it. Nice one, Jack.
This is so good.
Go down the big hill. Ready? Whoa, way, that's good. And there you go. There's the all new Batmobile. It's made out of plastic. It's got a metal base. And do you like it, Jack? What do you think?
Good.
Awesome.
Yes, I'm back. We're gonna check out the bit I've been waiting for. My new Batmobiles.
Let's check out this Batman the Animated Series Batmobile. Yes, it's a very cartoonish vehicle. Seems to be loosely based on the 1980s style, but with a 30s taint to it. Let's have a look at the back there. Is there anything I need? I kind of need the Batman Superman one and the Batman Forever. Now, I believe the Batman Forever one is very hard to get hold of. If anyone out there finds it, you need to hold on to that one because, yes, it is a little bit tricky to get. I haven't seen it in B&M. I haven't seen it anywhere, to be honest, but I have seen it. I know it exists. So, without further ado, let's crack in to this box here. Well, actually, it looks like a great big brick. It's a giant plank of Batmobile-ness. Yes, it's got, look at that, three-dimensionalism. It is just basically a cartoon that has been put onto reality, really. Nice boosters at the back there, good detailing, very simplistic, very cartoony, basically. I really like it, very slabby, slabtastic. Kind of reminds me of one of those world record cars from the 1930s, you know, Donald Campbell and all that kind of stuff, but with a little bit of a tinge of Batmanhood. So basically it's a solid metal up top, which is, it feels good, it does feel good. Nice dimensions, nice lines. It definitely captures the feel of the piece. Plastic base. Normally they have rubber wheels, rubber tyres there, so I think they're rubber tyres, and genuinely realistic, stylistic parts there for the actual hubs themselves. So all in all, if you like Batman, I guess this is a nice little piece to have for your collection. I think these run in at around about 155 scale, so it's a little bit bigger than your average Hot Wheel, which there you go, gives you an idea. But yeah, fine to collect, but not so much in the 3-inch department. Something to sort of specialise in. Plastic bits there, so it must run into the interior with those very nicely done blue windows. I can't really say too much more about it really, other than there she blows. Too much to say about the animated Batmobile because it is basically a fictional car, but I think we're going to find ourselves having quite a lot to say about the Bat, and this was of course featured in The Dark Knight Rises, which also featured a whole load of new Batmobiles. Oh, there it is, the Tumbler being one of them. Quite controversially, that was the Batmobile. Some people were hoping perhaps that the Batmobile would be a little bit sleeker, but the Tumbler was one of them all-round vehicles. But the one thing it couldn't do, which Batman needs to do, is fly. And of course he needs to replace that Batcopter with something a little bit modern. And I believe the Bat filled that purpose rather well. Well, I've got the Bat out the box, and as you can see, it comes with its own little pivoting stand. Wow, that's handy. A feature not on the original Hot Wheels casting. That does actually just suspend it off the ground there slightly. So yeah, that's pretty handy. But I'm going to take the stand off for the purposes of this expose, so to speak. Now, I mean, this has been out for years. This is probably an old video to many of you, and perhaps it's just nice to recap. And for me, this is the first time I've seen it. So, well, there you go. It's different for everyone. Hopefully some of you haven't seen this before. So, wow, just going around it, it is rather well done actually. It's a mixture of plastic and metal. The top parts mainly being the metal parts, and then the protrusions and the extending arms and all the base and these rather splendid propellers that obviously provide the up and down thrust are actually made out of plastic, so that's handy in case you want to get it broken. So it's not particularly a heavy piece. It looks heavier than it is. Always reminds me of some kind of weird turtle, the way it's put together. So yeah, the Bat. Now, it's not the first time I've seen a Bat. Hot Wheels did release a Bat some time back in the 3-inch range, and I do have one here to share with you. And here it is, a little Bat. Wow. So this little Bat, although it's a good 3-inch size, and it kind of goes with a Hot Wheel quite well, it is only 3 inches. And of course, Batman, as we know, is a little bit bigger than that. And so this Bat is rather a tiny little model. Compared to its its big Hot Wheels brother, and the big Hot Wheels brother, now that will look a lot better next to a Hot Wheel. There you go, look at that. That kind of looks cool actually. Looks like how it should be. I suppose you could probably make a Bat a little bit bigger, but that's about as big as it gets. And this isn't the only Bat that I've got. Oh no. There was another Bat, the Bat released by Matchbox. Of course, Mattel owns all these companies now, and I was a little bit worried, thinking that this Bat was literally a recast of this Bat, and I couldn't be further from the fact, because they are different. Yes, the Matchbox Bat is again a little bit smaller, so all in all, it's the tale of the 3 Bats. That's brilliant. And they are literally scaled up versions of each other. Now this final version, the Hot Wheels version, deals with even more little details. It's got these extra protrusions there. I suppose they're sort of ailerons of some sort for fettling with the performance and the up and down powers of the whole thing. It's also got more detail around those bits there. I'm not sure what they are, but there's some sort of wing again. It's all about up and down and floating around and hovering and being a kind of weird helicopter, but a helicopter without the obvious rotors, because the rotors are stored underneath. As you can see, you've actually got some genuine. These ones are just moulded in, and these ones are stuck on as a separate piece. The other thing about all these three vehicles is obviously this little one is made in Malaysia, this one is made in Thailand, and I believe this one is made in China. So they've all got three different homes as well. Yes, interesting. Construction is pretty much the same though. Obviously got a pretty good formula with that. But this last version is definitely more detailed. Even the guns are better. A bit more skinnier. So yeah. So they've just upped it a little bit. But unfortunately, it doesn't quite go with the other Batman stuff from the same series, and is often the case. It seems to vary in scale. It would be nice if they did the whole series in 155 or something similar, but they haven't. Obviously they've just done what they can squeeze into a box, and in this case that's squeezed in at that size. But it is rather fun that I do now have three different sizes of bat. Well, there's the Batmobile, the new with the bat, and it looks like the new Batmobile that is made of plastic can withstand some serious play. It's just been up and down the park here, and it's still in one piece. And I'm going to pass you over to Alicio Diecast now, because he's got some rather fantastic stuff to share with you. So, ta-ta for now.
K5, look at that. I have some RLC goodness here to show. Let's open them up. Starting with this piece from last year, the 17 Ford F-150 Raptor. Nice card. Number is not a very low number, 5585 out of 10,000. I've been waiting to open this up for quite a while now. But now the wait is over. Let's go. Very cool, deep Spectra Flame blue. Some tempos in the front and the top. The what is it? The 15 logo, because those wheels are licensed. Tempos in the back. Big Ford, and you have opening hood, no painted details, but that's okay, pretty nice. And then the kicker, look at that, perfectly flat, very cool. And then it closes nicely, very nice piece. I'm not a big truck fan, but this one is a keeper. Next is this year's membership car, the custom Camaro. So this is a very old casting, one of the original 16, and very nice black. So I don't know, I think they did as many like, I don't know how many membership there are, 15,000, 20,000. So there's quite a few of those. So let's open it up. Yeah, nicely done. Hello, dog. The custom Camaro. I don't know if I had one of those. I have more of the recent ones. Ooh, opening one right here. Oh, the wheel inside seems to be either a separate piece or it has been painted, but I would say it's a separate piece. And for an old casting, it's pretty detailed. Nice. Does this have suspension? Hey, it does. A tiny bit. Not bad. Ooh, smooth. So there you go. This is the 2019 membership car or club car. And last but not least, the main reason why I enlisted again this year in RSE after a disappointed 2018, it's Magnus Walker Porsche 964. Let's open it up. And there you have it. Hello, Magnus. Hello, gorgeous. Here it is out of the box. And let's have a closer look. Ooh, it's very shiny. Very, very shiny. Porsche 964 Magnus Walker version. It's an entirely new casting. Nothing to do with the car culture one we saw we have seen for the past couple of years, with licensed 1552 wheels. Very cool Spectra frame black or gun gray metal, I'm not sure. Detail everywhere. Outlaw. Even the side mirrors are painted. The inside is painted too. This is way better than I expected. Oh yeah. No plastic lens for the front or the back, but it has an opening on it. Look at this. Flat 6 in its purest glory. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Is it worth $30 before shipping? If you're a Porsche collector like me, I would say yes. Yes, this is a very nice piece to add. And if you think it's too expensive, maybe then the next release of this car through RSE again, but at a more regular price of $20 should do the trick without the box. And Mr. Walker here. Hi, how are you doing? So yeah, very happy with this. Excellent casting. I don't know if there are going to be a lot of variations of this, since it's a licensed casting somehow. And I don't know, we'll see. Very shiny, very, very shiny. Yeah. Next in line will be the RWB RLC exclusive Stella Artois car. This is going to be awesome. So yeah, this and this and this are my recent RLC buys, and this year is going to be awesome. I hope I will be able to get all the cars they have announced so far. So that's it for RC. There will be no RC for a while, and that's okay because those are expensive. And I hope to talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye.
YouTube, Lamar Fashion, back again. Hey, YouTube, Lamar Fashion, back again. Hey, YouTube, fantastic. YouTube, fantastic. YouTube. That is a cool looking piece. I originally said I could live without that one, but why not just get the whole release while you can, rather than have to head for it online later. That is a cool looking piece. This is sick. I'll save the Porsches for last since I'm such a Porsche guy.
Hi, my name's Batman, in case you couldn't tell. Welcome.
It does me enjoy like that all the time. Really. Oh, is it running? Is it running?
Yeah, it's running, Batman. Come on.
Hello, my name's Batman. Sorry. Welcome to the K5 channel. If you want to see more...
Batman, you're supposed to say that afterwards.
Oh, sorry, I got it wrong. Start again.
Okay.
Hello, my name's Batman.
Is this my best side, do you think? Hold on. There we go. Oh, Batman.
Hello, my name is Batman. And I come from Gotham. In Gotham, you need specialized transport. In this edition of K5, we're going to show you some Hot Wheels models that mimic my vehicles. Welcome to the K5 channel. My name's Batman. I live in Gotham City, and for that, you need special transport. In this edition of K5, we're gonna show you some of my Batmobiles the K5's been buying lately. Meanwhile, I gotta find Robin, because he's run off with the keys, and I need them for the Batmobile. Like and subscribe if you want to see more K5 videos. Robin! Robin! Robin, have you seen the keys for the Batmobile? I need them now. I'm going to the shops.